Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shrishti. I'm a 27-year-old travel nurse in Australia. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to go through the OBA pathway, what are the steps, how much does it cost, what do you have to do, and how much time does it take. So, a little bit about me. I came to Australia when I was 21-year-old, almost like 5.5 years ago. I'm now 27. I've been working as a registered nurse for the past 4.5 years in Australia, and I am a travel nurse at the moment, traveling around different places in Australia. I am originally from Nepal, so I had to go through the OBA pathway. I think I'm the one of the first batch to go through the OBA pathway when I came in. So let's start. So there are mainly three steps of OBA pathway. Those are self-check, NCLEX, and OSCE. But there are a few couple of steps in between as well, which I'll be talking in the video. The main first step is self-check. So it tells you whether you qualify to give or start on the OBA pathway or not. It only takes a few minutes to take the self-check. Just go to APRA's link or website and put in your details about whether you did a bachelor's degree in Nepal or other countries. Some of the countries like UK, Canada, or Ireland doesn't require you to go through all the OBA pathway, but some of the countries like Philippines, Nepal, India does require you to go through the OBA pathway. And also there are some countries who only have 3 years of bachelor's degree, and I think APRA doesn't accept that as a bachelor course. I think only the APRA knows about this. I can't tell you whether you qualify or not. It's APRA's job. So please do the self-check before you begin any of the steps. So after doing the free self-check test, you are required to submit all of your documents, which is the process is called portfolio assessment, to get approval for NCLEX. For that, you are required to submit your certificate of graduation. You are required to submit your transcript. You are required to submit some criminal check and other documents, other details about you, and you gotta pay them $640 to do this process. And so you have to make an account in APRA and do this process. I will list all of the timeline in a little while in the end of this video. So after you give your do your portfolio assessment and they get back to you, you have to wait for the authorization to test, which is called ATT, for giving your NCLEX test. So only the APRA will tell you whether you are authorized to take the NCLEX test or not, or whether you can further proceed with the process. And they will, after they send you ATT, you are required to give NCLEX within a certain amount of time. And you proceed with the NCLEX after that. So a little bit about NCLEX. Many people have asked me personally about whether it's the same as the American NCLEX or not. And let me tell you, it is the same. You have to give the or book the test through the Pearson VUE itself as well, just like the American one. And a little bit of tip on this, where if you are someone who want to be registered as a nurse in America as well, you can do so after giving your NCLEX, but before you are registered in Australia. So after you give your NCLEX test, if you pass the test, you can use the same NCLEX to get registered in America as well. You have to do the separate process in the American Nursing Council as well, depending on which state you do the process in. But you cannot use the same NCLEX to get the registration if you have already been a registered nurse in Australia with that NCLEX. I myself, I haven't gone through that process, so I'm not too sure about what you can do, but do your research. And yeah, a little bit of separate tip on that. So a little bit about NCLEX examination. It's basically a MCQ exam now. Also, they do case study basis as well, but it's basically a multiple choice questions exam that is related to all the nursing topics. You can take classes or you can do your own study. I personally did my own study for NCLEX, and I used different resources and I passed it on the first go. So the next step is giving an OSCE examination. So what OSCE examination is, it's basically like a live scenario of you in a hospital. You are given 10 stations where you have to do a procedure or interventions and there is like actors who are acting like a real life patient. So the OSCE exam is held in two major cities, which is Adelaide and Melbourne, and you are required after you pass the NCLEX test, the APRA will get back to you by themselves to say, hey, we have got a OSCE date, do you want to be booked in these dates? So if you're ready and if you've taken the training and you're completely fine to give the OSCE test, book the dates as you feel comfortable with. And if you're not ready, you can tell APRA that, no, I think I will take another date. But the OSCE dates are very limited, so I would suggest you get prepared firsthand to give the OSCE test. I'm going to be talking about all the budgets and monetary in the later part of this video. And the final process is the registration. After you pass your OSCE test, you have to apply for registration and you become a registered nurse. So let's talk about how much does it cost to get through this pathway. And in this, I'm just going to be talking about the actual money it requires or the cost required to go through this pathway, and not the extra money like to get your visa or training or anything. So the first process is self-check. It's completely free and it only takes a few minutes. The next one is portfolio assessment. So you have to pay $640 to APRA to get that done. The next one is giving the NCLEX examination. NCLEX examination is cost you about 350 Australian dollars to do. So that's about $990. The next is, and the biggest and expensive cost for this pathway is OSCE examination, which would cost you 4,000 Australian dollars. And if you had to resit, and if you didn't pass the OSCE the first time and you had to resit the OSCE, you have to pay that $4,000 again. So better be prepared. And the last cost would require you to pay for the registration fee, which is 185 Australian dollars, and application fee, which is 300 Australian dollars. So the whole process takes about $5,475. And that's excluding the cost you would be paying for like different trainings, either for NCLEX or OSCE. So let's talk about the time it requires you to go through all of this pathway, all of this process. So let's start from the self-check. It's completely free and it only takes a few minutes to see whether you qualify for the OBA pathway or not. Simple and easy. For the portfolio assessment, it will take about up to 12 weeks for APRA to do all of the process, go through all of your documents, and you might have to wait 12 weeks. And to get the ATT, you might have to wait for 4 to 6 weeks. And it's your choice whether you want to prepare your NCLEX while waiting for your ATT, or whether you want to start preparing after you get your ATT. I would personally be prepared beforehand if I was you to give my NCLEX examination, so that I'm more prepared to give the NCLEX within the given period of time. So you gave your NCLEX, you passed it. It would take about 4 to 6 weeks for APRA to get back to you to give your results, whether you passed your NCLEX or not. And no, even if the Pearson VUE shows the result that you passed the examination, the APRA is the one who will officially inform you and whether you passed your NCLEX or not. And after they give you the notice, then only you can proceed further on the pathway. So that's another 6 weeks wait. And then you give your OSCE. So also in this, it's up to you if you want to prepare for your OSCE while waiting for APRA to get back to you with the date, or if you want to prepare that after you get your date sorted out. It's completely up to you. Myself, again, I would be prepared beforehand. I would take classes. OSCE is quite different from NCLEX and it's quite difficult. So I would personally take the training. I took the training as well before giving my OSCE, and it was very helpful. So I would personally tell you to spend that $2,500 or $3,000 on the classes and take that training. It would be completely worth it, rather than getting to pay another $4,000 and not knowing whether you're going to pass or not on the OSCE examination, because it's quite expensive and you don't want to spend more money, obviously. So after you pass your NCLEX, the APRA gets back to you. It's up to 6 weeks wait for them to get back to you. And if you pass your OSCE, another 6 week wait to get your OSCE results. Does that make sense? Anyway, so you've done all of the NCLEX OSCE part, and it's time that you finally get registered as a registered nurse. Congratulations. But it's another 6 week wait. Could be up to 6 weeks wait. Where you, after you pay application, you submit your documents again, and they will get back to you with your registration in 6 weeks. So it's completely up to you how much time you take, but typically it would take anything between 8 to 12 months to go through whole process. A little bit tip at the end is, especially if you're from Nepal, I would suggest you give your NCLEX, go through all of the process in Nepal, give your NCLEX, and get a tourist visa, come to Australia, give your OSCE examination. They do give tourist visa for your OSCE examination these days. And then after you pass your OSCE, APRA gets back to you, and then maybe come in a working visa or anything. I'm not a visa expert, I've told you, and but go to your consultancy and ask them whether that's possible or not. I think they have made it possible this time to go do that process. So get your registration sorted out, work as a nurse. Being a registered nurse in Australia is so worth it. It's a good balance of money and also lifestyle. Happy nursing. And I'll see you in the next video. And within that time, please let me know what other content you'd like to see from me, what other information you'd like to know. If there is anything you'd like to ask me, or any particular videos you'd like to see from my channel. Yeah, and I will see you next week. Bye.